Welcome to Gridiron Ring, a sports talk show covering football and professional wrestling. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. NFL Week 2 kicked off last Thursday night in Charlotte, North Carolina, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Carolina Panthers. The Bucs defeated the Panthers 20-14. Seahawks over the Steelers 28-26. Big Ben Roethlisberger now out for the entire season with an elbow injury. Get well soon, Big Ben. 49ers, who the Steelers play at this upcoming weekend, defeated the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati 41-17. San Francisco 2-0, Pittsburgh 0-2. Steelers have not won in San Fran in 20 years, dating back to 1999. Packers, Vikings, Green Bay defeated Minnesota 21-16 at Lambeau. Colts over the Titans 19-17. And then the Titans also lost last night on Thursday Night Football to kick off Week 3 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Patriots blanked the Miami Dolphins 43-0. Antonio Brown in his debut with the Pats, 4 catches, 55 yards, and 1 touchdown. Cowboys over the Redskins 31-21. Ravens defeated the Cardinals behind Lamar Jackson 23-17. Last week we had Lamar Jackson versus Kyler Murray. This upcoming weekend we have Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes. Should be another good game to watch. Chiefs over the Raiders 28-10. Bears defeated the Broncos on a game-winning 53-yard field goal 16-14 out in Mile High. And then the Rams defeated the Saints once again 27-9. Drew Brees now out for 6 weeks with a thumb injury. And then on Sunday Night Football, the Falcons defeated the Eagles 24-20. And then the Browns on Monday Night Football defeated the Jets. The Browns play in primetime once again this upcoming weekend on Sunday Night Football. First Sunday night home game for them in 11 years as they host the Los Angeles Rams. And then as mentioned, last night on Thursday Night Football to kick off Week 3 in the NFL during NFL 100, the Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Tennessee Titans 20-7 behind Gardner Cashew Minshew II. Minshew Mania is running wild down in AEW country of Jacksonville, Florida. NFL Week 3, as mentioned, kicked off last night with that game. However, a full slate of games on Sunday. I will be live on Periscope doing live reactions, play-by-play, so be sure to tune in. Bengals-Bills is the first game I'm going to go over. Cincinnati, they lost to Seattle Week 1 on the road, lost to San Francisco at home last week. They now have to go to the 2-0 Buffalo Bills up in Orchard Park. Bills defeated the Jets Week 1 and then the Giants last week. So they're 2-0 on the season. However, 2-0 away from home, both games being played in East Rutherford, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. However, I'm still going to pick the Bills to win on Sunday to start off 3-0 to kick off Week 3. No one, as Boomer Chris Berman would say, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Bills over the Bengals. Broncos, Packers, Vic Fangio, the new head coach, out in Denver. Denver 0-2 as well. Lost to Oakland on Monday Night Football Week 1. Game-winning 53-yarder against Chicago last week to make them 0-2 now. Now they have to go to Green Bay and play the 2-0 Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. Vic Fangio, new head coach for the Broncos, as mentioned, knows Aaron Rodgers and the Packers very, very well. Former defensive coordinator in Chicago with the Bears. However, Packers playing at home, tough place to play. Give me the Packers over the Denver Broncos. Low-key, under-the-radar game for myself next, Falcons-Colts. Falcons won on Sunday Night Football this past week against the Philadelphia Eagles. Colts 1-1, lost to the Chargers Week 1, defeated the Titans last week. This is a battle of 45-plus-year-old kickers. It will come down to the kicking game. Mark my words. It's either going to be Matt Bryant kicking a game-winning field goal or Adam Vinatieri getting out of his slump that he's currently in, also potentially kicking a game-winning field goal. But since the Colts are playing at home, battle of two dome teams, was supposed to be Luck versus Matt Ryan, but obviously we know Andrew Luck's been retired now for almost a month. Jacoby Brissett steps in. He's played well so far, I've thought, but Colts still, whether or not he plays well on Sunday or not, Colts I think will still win behind that committee at running back that they have with Marlon Mack, Naeem Hines, And who's the other guy that they have? Who's the other running back the Colts have? Yeah, I can't think. Let me know in the comments below if you guys know who the other Colt running back is that I'm not thinking of at the moment as I record my NFL Week 3 predictions. Always greatly appreciated for all your chat questions and comments on here, right here on YouTube, and over on Periscope during live streams. As I mentioned, I will be live on Sunday for more NFL action as well. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Gridiron Ring and myself, Cool Hand Luke 96, on social media. Links are in the description below. So Colts, either way, they'll win late on a game-winning out of Vinatieri field goal over Matt Bryant, along with Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Ravens-Chiefs, going to be the game of the week. Everybody's going to be talking about this come Sunday. Ravens-Chiefs from Arrowhead in Kansas City. Rematch from Week 12 last year. Game. Kansas City was up. Baltimore came back. Game went to overtime. Kansas City won on a field goal 27-24. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, numbers will be put up on Sunday, but in the end, I'm going to take the home team once again. 4 for 4 so far, first 4 games, taking all home teams. And it looks like that most of the way as I look down the rest of my predictions. A couple away teams, a couple road teams I have winning this week during Week 3, but Kansas City, if Baltimore is going to be blitzing a lot, Andy Reid knows how to run an offense. Patrick Mahomes, second year or third year quarterback now, second year as a starter. Lamar Jackson in his second year played well Week 1 against the Dolphins, but the Dolphins are the worst team in the league right now. We saw what Baltimore did to them, put up 59 on them, and then last week Tom Brady threw all over them as well. So I mean, really, you can't really say, okay, these two teams are, the best in the AFC. However, they are playing some damn good football right now, putting up some stats. So both the Ravens and Chiefs beat Oakland last week, 28-10. Really didn't do anything in the second half. Mahomes, first 2 weeks, he's thrown for 350 and 3 touchdowns, both games, all in the first half, and then really hasn't done anything in the second half. Because, I mean, at the same time, though, too, he really hasn't had to because the Chiefs have been up. So at that point, you just run the football and, run away with the game at that point. But both Ravens and Chiefs, they'll get their first big test come Sunday. But because Kansas City's playing at home, Arrowhead, along with CenturyLink Field up in Seattle where the Seahawks play, those are two toughest places to play, in my opinion, in the NFL. So give me KC over Baltimore. We could see this game later on, in the season, in the playoffs. But only time's going to tell for that. But like I said, if Baltimore is going to be blitzing a lot, Mahomes, he'll hit screen passes to the Williams boys in the backfield, along with LaShawn McCoy if he plays. He's questionable right now, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. This will be one of the 3 games that I will be doing live reactions play-by-play of come Sunday. So be sure to tune in. Cool Hand Luke 96 on Periscope. Speaking of the Raiders, who the Chiefs beat last week, Oakland goes to Minnesota to play the Vikings. So a battle of 2 historic franchises in the National Football League during NFL 100. We've got the Silver and Black versus the Purple People Eaters of the Minnesota Vikings. Dalvin Cook and company, they've been running the ball very well so far this year. I mean, Kirk Cousins, one game in, he had 10 passes, but they still won. So that's really all that matters. Last week they lost. Both teams coming off a loss. Both teams 1-1 on the season. Oakland, they defeated Denver Week 1, lost to Kansas City last week, and then Minnesota, they defeated, who they beat Week 1? Let me look here. Minnesota defeated the Vikings beat the Falcons Week 1, and then lost to the Packers last week on the road. So both teams 1-1. I just want to make sure on that real quick before I moved on. This could be a very low-scoring game. John Gruden's defense versus Mike Zimmer's defense. But then at the same time, Minnesota might surprise on offense this week. Everybody's talking about, they're not throwing the ball enough. Well, Oakland defense, secondary in particular, you might want to get ready because you might get beat on some deep balls off the play action. If you think they're going to be running the ball the whole entire game, they'll come out of nowhere and, throw one deep on you and beat you and end up winning the game because of it, more than likely. But Oakland, I just think they're a tad bit better. I'm going to take John Gruden and the Raiders. This is really a toss-up for myself. There's a lot of toss-up games this weekend, a lot of 50-50 coin flip games. Honestly, don't know who to pick. It's basically just pick 'em, with that. But Raiders over the Vikings should be a damn good game. This game will probably be on Fox, to be honest with you. I know it's at 1 o'clock, so yeah, probably going to be on Fox. But yeah, moving on now, anyways. Toss-up game, the past couple there. However, this next one is going to be a blowout. However, in the past 40 years, teams who are favored by more than 20 points are 0-40 against the spread. The Patriots are favored by 23, I do believe, over the Jets at home on Sunday with Luke Falk at quarterback. This is a battle of quarterbacks drafted 199th overall in the 6th round. Tom Brady, obviously out of Michigan back in 2000. Luke Falk last year out of Washington State. Gardner Minshew, who took over for Luke Falk at Washington State last year, just defeated the Tennessee Titans last night with the Jacksonville Jaguars. As I said, Minshew mania, along with his mustache mania, running wild down in Jacksonville right now. As the Jags, they didn't look great last night, but a win's a win when it's all said and done anyway. But the Patriots with Brady versus Falk, who's now stepping in to start at quarterback for the first time in his NFL career. Jets at Patriots on Sunday, 1 o'clock. Sam Darnold's still out with mono. This game and the Jet game last week on Monday night would have been a little bit better, I think, if Darnold was playing. Because Darnold's, not that bad of a quarterback, to be honest with you. Number 3 pick last year out of USC. Browns, though, last week, you can talk about, they really didn't play well, they still won. That was last week on Monday night for them. They still didn't really play well against the Jets on Monday Night Football, but they still won, so a win's a win when it's all said and done with that as well. But Jets-Patriots, as I said, 0-40 versus the spread. Teams favored by 20 or more in the past 40 years. Cowboys also favored by more than 20 against the Dolphins, who are now starting Josh Rosen at quarterback, who they traded for back during the NFL draft from the Arizona Cardinals after the Cardinals drafted the Heisman Trophy winner last year out of Oklahoma, and the number 1 pick in this year's draft, Kyler Murray. But then also last week on Monday Night Football, as I said, Darnold was out. Trevor Siemian stepped in to play quarterback, went down with a season-ending ankle injury, broke his ankle. So Luke Falk steps in, and now he has to go to Foxborough to play against Tom Brady in his first ever career start. Patriots by a mile. There's no way around this. I don't know if they'll put up as many points as they put up the past 2 weeks, but it might be a little bit closer than what a lot of people are going to be thinking, including myself. But Patriots are still going to win this game no matter what. So New England over the Jets. Saints Seahawks rematch from 2009-10 wild card divisional playoff game. That Marshawn Lynch run that everybody remembers, that people still talk about. Not the time that they didn't give him the ball at the 1 yard line in Super Bowl 49. This was a couple years beforehand. It was actually, I believe, 10 years ago, because the Saints ended up winning that ball game, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong or right, one or the other. And then the Saints ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. Super Bowl 44, Super Bowl 54 this year. Yeah, do the math, that's 10 years. So, Saints, however, are now without Drew Brees, as mentioned earlier. He went down with a thumb injury, a freak injury, on Sunday on the road against the Rams at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, and now have to go to the Pacific Northwest to the Emerald City of Seattle to play the Seahawks. And they actually stayed out west. They did not go home to New Orleans this past week. Breeze got his surgery this week. Roethlisberger surgery as well on his elbow, as he's out for the entire year. I'll get to the Steeler game here in a minute with the San Francisco 49ers, as those two teams will meet on Sunday at 4:25 on CBS. But Saints staying out west might help them a little bit. But in steps Teddy Bridgewater, who hasn't started at quarterback in a couple years. He was a damn good quarterback when he started for the Minnesota Vikings, however, then went down with that injury he had. Signed with the Jets, traded from the Jets to the Saints, where he's at now. He's played a little bit behind Breeze. Taysom Hill's also there, the former BYU Cougar, who's the Swiss Army knife type of player, in my opinion, on that Saint offense. I mean, Sean Payton's going to know what to do come Sunday. Officially, though, he has not named a starter. So we'll have to see come Sunday who does, in fact, start that game, as it's going to be whoever versus Russell Wilson, who threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns last week, against Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. Yeah, I know that Steeler defense a little banged up, really not that good, really hasn't been that good since Troy Polamalu retired. However, they did trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick, give him a first-round pick, and some other picks in the next couple years to the Miami Dolphins just this past Monday night, during Monday Night Football that actually broke. So maybe he'll help out in the Steelers secondary, but we'll see come Sunday, as he will start against San Francisco. But Saints Seahawks, I got to take the home team. I mean, I know Seattle, 1-point win over Cincinnati week 1 at home, and then only a 2-point win this past week on the road against Pittsburgh. Hell, maybe they'll win by 3 points now come Sunday at home against the Saints. However, because Breeze is not playing, I'm going to take the Seahawks. Texans Chargers, another coin flip game. Chargers last week lost on the road to the Detroit Lions. How? I don't know. They should have won that game. Houston, they are 1-1 as well. Lost a game-winning field goal week 1 of Monday Night Football to the New Orleans Saints, and the Saints lose last week. So a lot of 1-1 teams. I mean, it's still early though, so records, at this point really don't matter. When it's, week 8, 10, 12, later on in the season, playoff position on the line, that's when I really need to start talking about that more, and not right now. So I'm sorry about that, but thanks for listening and checking out my NFL Week 3 predictions. Go check out my NFL or my college football Week 4 predictions, and tune in on Sunday for my NFL live streams over on Periscope. Like, follow, and subscribe. Gridiron Ring and myself, Cohan Luke 96 on social media. But Texans 1-point win over the Jaguars last week because the Jags got stuffed at the line of scrimmage at the goal line to potentially win the game or force overtime at that point. But then, however, last night Jaguars defeated the Titans, so you move on, you forget about that. Those two teams will meet later on down the road though as well in the AFC South. But AFC South, AFC West, Texans Chargers, Rivers Watson, flip a coin, simple as that. Heads, Chargers. Tails, Texans. I gotta take the home team. I'm gonna take the experienced quarterback with Phillip Rivers over Deshaun Watson. Watson almost defeated Breeze week 1 on Monday Night Football. However, Breeze got the ball, 40 seconds left, drove downfield. Chargers kicked, or the Saints at that point. Breeze's new team now. His old team, the Chargers, played the Texans on Sunday. Breeze led the Saints downfield. Saints kicked that game-winning 58-yarder with Will Lutz. So yeah, give me the Chargers over the Texans. Low-key game as well. As mentioned, a lot of good games during Week 3 of the NFL this upcoming weekend. Once again, thank you for listening. Be sure to share this on social media. Giants Buccaneers. Eli Manning has been benched. Daniel Jones, the rookie quarterback out of Duke, drafted number 6 overall in this year's draft, will start for Big Blue as they will head to Tampa Bay to play Bruce Arians and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator in Tampa Bay now with the Bucs, along with Bruce Arians, will bring blitzes left and right the entire game to get after the rookie quarterback Daniel Jones, and Tampa Bay is going to win on Sunday. Steelers 49ers. Mason Rudolph steps in, first career start for him as well come Sunday, replacing Ben Roethlisberger, who is out with a elbow injury for the whole entire season. However, it does seem like now the Steelers will rely on their defense moving forward and their running game, hopefully, if they can get James Conner, Jalen Samuels, and Benny Snell moving. They just traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick to help out in the secondary. He is there now, along with Terrell Edmonds, Sean Davis, who is a little banged up as well. Devin Bush at linebacker. You have Steven Nelson in the secondary, too, who they signed from Kansas City this past offseason, along with Joe Hayden and Artie Burns. Sutton played all right last week against Seattle as well, so maybe if he'll step up once again, they'll be able to stop Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, the front seven as a whole, especially the defensive line with Watt, Tuitt, and Hayward, if they can get after him, force them to throw the ball downfield, secondary steps up, long story short, at the end of the game, and Garoppolo doesn't throw for 3 touchdowns like he did last week, and Pittsburgh is able to run the ball and maybe throw to the tight end, if McDonald and Grimble can get open and give Rudolph a check down guy over the middle of the field. The running back committee of Connor, Samuels, and Snell, along with the defense, are going to be Rudolph's best friends come Sunday. That's what a young rookie quarterback, or a young second-year quarterback, basically a rookie quarterback, got thrown in last week for the first time ever, now making his first career start come Sunday. Those are going to be his best friends, and hopefully they can run the ball and play good defense and get out of San Francisco with a win for the first time in 20 years. I'm going to pick the Steelers to win because I'm a black and gold Steelers fan. However, I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers start 0-3 and the San Francisco 49ers win on Sunday, and Garoppolo has another damn good game. Niners 2-0, 3 teams 2-0 out in the NFC West with the Seahawks, Rams, and 49ers. This game, 4:25 on CBS. One of the other games I'll be doing live reactions play-by-play of, so be sure to tune in over on Periscope. Sunday Night Football with the Rams and Browns. As mentioned earlier, Browns hosting Sunday Night Football for the first time since 2008. Now in step the LA Rams, the defending NFC champions, with Jared Goff, who got a big deal right before the season started. Todd Gurley, early in the first half of games, really hasn't played well. However, when they get up, they give him the ball late, he's getting garbage time, even though he is the starter. Browns with Baker Mayfield. This game has potential to be the best of the weekend, minus the Ravens-Chiefs game, because that game, that'll come down to the wire. This might as well, Sunday Night Football. I could take the Rams, though. I mean, the Browns, like I said, week 1, everybody's high on them coming into the year. Oh, they're going to make the playoffs, including myself. You know, they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I don't know about that still, but they lose by 30 on the Tennessee Titans, who lost to the Jaguars last night, for God's sakes. Okay. And then last week on Monday Night Football, they sort of struggle on the road against the Jets with a second, third-string quarterback, but then they still win by 20. A win's a win, I get it. But now you have the Rams coming to town. Are the Browns going to be the Browns of old on primetime on Sunday night? In primetime on Sunday night? Or are they going to be the new Browns that everybody's talking about? And come Monday morning, that's all anybody is going to be talking about. Moving forward, all the Browns are back. The Browns are going to win the AFC North. The Browns are going to get the Super Bowl and win. Well, we'll see. It's still very, very early. After Sunday, we'll only be 3 weeks down, 13 more to go. Hell, maybe they finish 3-13 once again. Maybe 13-3 though at the same time though too. I don't know. That's why they play the games. But Jared Goff and the Rams, experience. I got to take the Rams over the Browns, unfortunately. However, once again, Sunday on Periscope for this. Be sure to tune in. Monday Night Football, the Bears, big win on the road against the Broncos last week, 53-yarder by Pinero at the end of the game to win it. Bears now travel to the nation's capital to play the Washington Redskins on Monday Night Football. However, this is not 1985. This is not Jim McMahon and the 85 Bears defense going up against Doug Williams and Joe Gibbs-led Washington Redskins. Bears are still going to win come Monday night. Mitch Trubisky and Matt Nagy up against, well, maybe Dwayne Haskins if Keenum, starts to play bad. I know I've said that the first couple weeks of the year, but Keenum's been putting up numbers. It's going to be a little hard for Haskins to step in, with Keenum putting up stats, but the Redskins continue to lose like the Giants are right now. Both teams 0-2, and then the Giants just benched Eli Manning for a rookie quarterback and Daniel Jones. How long is it going to be before the Redskins bench Case Keenum and move into the future with the rookie quarterback out of Ohio State, Dwayne Haskins, who finished third last year in the Heisman voting? Bears, close game Monday night, but Bears will win. And those are my NFL Week 3 predictions. Go check out my College Football Week 4 predictions as well, and I hope to see everybody now on Sunday for my live reactions, play-by-play of NFL football. Like, follow, and subscribe. Gridiron Ring and myself, Cool Hand Luke 96, on social media. Links are in the description below.